Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with the growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcasting, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to have a great show. I am Calvin Mann, or should I say Dr. Calvin Mann, as I'm being bullied into saying. No, I'm just kidding. She don't bully me all the time. She takes some days off. She takes some days off, you know what I mean? So today, welcome to Put Your Family First. And today we're going to be talking about dating in 2026, good or bad. Family restoration is an important work that we do, and we noticed time and time again as we've had several conversations about dating. There are a lot of people who want a good man, and there are a lot of people who want a good woman. And as we can tell today from Clay Thompson splitting up with Meg Thee Stallion because she wants $700,000 a month, that is absolutely astonishing. Right? You don't need to know. Remember I told y'all, you don't need to know who Meg Thee Stallion is. That's not right. So we just using that as a beginning talking point.
Some seems the social media, the level of truth that could be.
She's a Grammy Award winner.
The level of truth that could be in that statement is questionable.
The level of truth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
No way. $1 million.
Okay.
Basically, she wants a month.
All right. So it drips gold, they say. If you paying $1 million for it, right?
$1 million. That can't be. I gotta hear her say it, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta question the media.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, man.
Because I don't see her. I do not see myself believing that she is that ignorant nor dumb. Okay, go ahead. It's your show. Sorry, go ahead.
There are some demands on dating, men and
definitely.
women.
Okay.
So that's why we're having this conversation, because men are really very, very extravagant and controlling, and a number of those things as well. Now, women are the same way. Women are controlling and extreme, right? And demanding, right? And they have this idea, these lofty ideas about what dating really is. And so, you know, because of what they hear, these lofty ideas, meaning if we go on a date, you have to, right? Now, listen, some of this stuff is for virgins, right? That she had to be a virgin to get some of this treatment. Or he had to be a great man to get some of this treatment, right? We hear them say all the time. We hear women say all the time, right? Women say all the time about, right? He has to have this, and he needs to be that. And they have a level for which they'll be committed, right? And this is all women. This is not, we are not going down the rabbit hole on black women. I love black women, so we're not doing that. So this is all women.
Meaning women of different backgrounds and ethnicities and sizes and shapes.
Women.
Okay.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
But there are still some women who get it. And there are still some men who get it. The statistics in the type of dating that's out there is, should I say, alarming? We know that a lot of young men are not interested in the box. 1 in 3 30-year-olds are not having sex. We know there's a considerable amount of women who have shut down, and they've went what I call try to re-virgin, where they're not giving themselves to anybody, right? They call it celibate. I say once you go past 7 months, it's re-virgin, right? The case is closed, right? Which on both sides, it's kind of hard to believe, right? Dating, I hear, Cal, I just want a man that, and then I hear Cal, man, these women, man, they don't even get it. They don't, all they want is this. They want us to have this, but they don't come to the table, right? We hear all of that. So today we're going to get into this conversation. I don't really see dating as a flaw. I never had the problem. You know, I know a lot of people do, but I never had the problem.
And what do you mean you never had the problem?
Whatever I want, I got.
In terms of?
Women. And as far as dating, I've never been asked. This is a fact. This is an actual fact. Now, this is not a braggart thing or anything like that. I never drew the type of woman to me that said, you have to make $100,000 in order to be with me. I never drew the type of woman to me that said you had to be 6'5" and 6-pack in the abs. I never drew that type of woman. But I never, right. I never, in my dating, I had what I saw as what was good for me. Right? And so, like I said, we'll get into that as we go forward. But Dr. Heather, you get to do your overview. It's Overview with Heather. Right.
All right. So I'll share this overview. Thank you, though, for sharing your perspective, Dr. Calvin. I think this is an important topic. And, of course, I did frame it a little bit different than just overall dating. I looked at this in terms of single families. So a single mom or a single dad in dating and this. So that's kind of how the framing of this, of some of these, the data that we're sharing is based on that. Excuse me. So social media seems to be torn these days with thoughts and opinions on healthy dating and finding a healthy mate for single parent households. Today we decided to look at and discuss, excuse me, discuss 7 of the emerging trends for 2026. So, excuse me. So, looking through some of the data and the insights, these were the ones that I pulled out I thought were most, not just controversial, but most with some consideration, based on 2026 in particular.
You okay? You want me to take it?
Yeah, you can take it for a minute. I just need some water.
Let's look and listen to similar insights and examples of how these trends play out in family, friends, and others. We know that may be on the course for family restoration or blending families through dating culture. Based on 2026 data, trends in dating and family structure, single parent households are navigating significant shifts in how romance impacts life. Here are 7 ways these families are impacted, according to the recent insight. Number 1, rise of low-key lover trend, stability priority. In 2026, about 35% of singles are seeking low-key lovers, partners who are calm, consistent, and drama-free, reducing the instability often felt by children in previous swiping errors. Number 2, shift to the clear coding for family alignment. Singles are prioritizing transparency, immediately clarifying if they are seeking a long-term partner willing to accept their family structure, which helps avoid wasted time and emotional investment on incompatible partners. Number 3, increased use of AI for scheduling parenting. Parents are using artificial intelligence to manage dating schedules and child-related tasks, freeing up more quality time to spend with children rather than on logistics. Number 4, rise of long-distance dating partnerships. Due to high mobility, many successful single parents in 2026 are opting for relationships where partners live in different cities or countries, providing emotional companionship without disrupting the daily routine or household structure of the children. Number 5, adoption of authoritative parenting 2.0. To manage burnout, parents are moving toward a style that balances firm boundaries with high warmth, ensuring children feel secure even while the parent is navigating new relationships. Number 6, analog children experiences. Families are prioritizing slow, intentional living, including backyard play and screen-free time over scheduling kids with activities, which allows parents more energy for their own personal lives and relationships. And number 7, increased financial strain and protective measures, because the single parent household may face limited financial resources. Dating in 2026 is often focused on low or cost activities, and parents are increasingly utilizing secondhand shared experiences-based resources rather than luxury or high-cost activities. So, in all of that, right? In all of that, there is also the piece that is not mentioned, which is co-parents and parentings. Parents are coming together, single parents are coming together in one household, where the parent watches the kid while the other parent goes on dates. It cuts down on money, losing money, and so they move into a home as friends, right? 2 women or 2 men and who have kids. And what they do is when Miles go out, I will watch the kids. When I go out, Miles will watch the kids. This is a phenomenon that is spreading. And I'm going to say this because I think it's structurally important to the culture. I'm speaking specifically to Black people when I say this, right? There are some things that we are absolutely, when it comes to family, that we're behind on when it comes to adjusting and quality parenting. There are some things that we're behind on. There are some things we're behind on when it comes to fathers being involved and having to fight so hard to be, right? Like the stay-at-home dad convention, 30 years of stay-at-home dad convention. You're behind on that, right? Dad staying at home, the mindset has to be of maturity and some other things in order for you to be at home and to manage and do the kid work, right? So this is just one area. Dating and relationships is just one area how you find yourself behind. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Excuse me.
So now, Dr. Heather.
Oh, well, I thought that because we're specifically focusing on what's happening in 2026. A lot of us, I would say, more the 45 or 40 plus culture. We have a back in the day mindset, kind of this nostalgia. That we're going to talk a little bit about this at a little bit further in the show, but to kind of consider that these are a new way of thinking, especially for old school families and old school dating, that you have to have. Now there is a extra consideration that, now it involves AI in a way or technology in a way that it didn't before. I mean, we went from pocket planners and, the Franklin Covey systems, paper systems, to now all of the different ways that you keep schedules and meet and, form logistics. And there are apps now, and there are, websites and dating sites that help you schedule all those different things, which I think is really, really an interesting way that that technology is adapting to this dating culture.
Well, it's bad. And so Dave,
it's bad.
It is.
It's so
bad. Dave, yeah. Dave, please elaborate on how bad, or what are the things that you're seeing in dating.
Well, I don't know if it's bad or good. It's definitely a change.
It's change.
And a change that obviously will create some conflict and some interest. And I believe that when we look at the culture today, we're looking for easy. And we're not looking at things that there's some pluses to tradition in the past. Because I just can't fathom how we've gotten to 2026 and we go back to just say the 19th, 18th century. You look at these people were dating all the time. Some way, somehow, people made it work. Now all of a sudden everybody needs AI. It didn't went to the extreme with AI. Well. I mean, even to the point that with technology, we're not even dating people anymore. We're dating the creation of man's ideals through technology. So we're losing something. There's a plus to it if you're effective in it, but most people are not even that efficient in AI. And so I don't know how great this would work, but I won't downplay it. But I think there's some basic things we need to go back to. First and foremost, you need to build a relationship with yourself. You need to be in a relationship with God. And then you need to begin to come up with a strategic plan on how to interact with one another. All these avoidance of trying to make things easy. And since I'm out here and I've been in the dating world for a long time, I see that a lot of the issues that exist is not about adding all these additives. It's more about beginning to develop a real relationship. And people are so traumatized they can't even connect.
So, again, right? We learn, just to throw in there, just to add to what Dave said, let's be clear. Trauma is the result of the stresses and the things that happen. Trauma is not something it's the result of it, right? And so the other thing is, and when we're dating, I hear women say all the time, the type of men, what's up with these men? And I make it clear. Sometimes you reap what you sow. You raised a boy half-witted. You took the boy and you neglected him, and and you kept the boy and you moved the boy and all of these things, and the whole time the boy was in this manipulative stage. So he didn't get to know himself. He got to learn manipulation. Then on the other side, you didn't go get your son. You didn't participate with your son. You were so mad at her. And then we even have I don't want to deal with the kid if I can't have you. Like, these are some of the most diabolical things that is affecting dating. Dating is now, as Dave just said, it is a traumatized sport because of the things that I've gone through. I do have trauma. So when we talk about the prosecutor and we talk about rape, a lot of women have gone on these things and been raped. A lot of women have, in dating, lost their life going on dates.
Well, you know that's both ways, though.
Yeah. Yeah, there has been some men that lost their life.
And that's something that's near and dear to me because now I look at it different. See, then they say you can't rape the willing because I was, quote unquote, a boy. But when you look back on it, it's rape however you play it. And then as I move fastward to various situations in the military, placed in positions where if I didn't do, then I'd be accused. So therefore, there's that kind of indirect form of you being raped, and nobody here to it. When we look at our statistics, men are equally as raped in various locations and places, which I won't go into, that don't get accounted for because, again, when you look at if it's the other way around, it's not accounted for. So it becomes very, when I hear this term, I try to look at it, I was explaining this to someone the other day, I look at it as a behavior, not a gender. Because we get so wrapped around the gender, but the story's not told on both parts. You know, we in society tell men, don't say nothing. I mean, every time you look around, a new athlete's coming up telling he was raped. Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, we don't talk about that kind of stuff. See, so dating, you know, it obviously we can make it a gender issue, but it's human behavior issue. How were you conditioned? How were you raised? How were you taught in a way and you interpret it an appropriate way? Yeah. That you now know how to handle yourself accordingly, and most of us are not taught accordingly.
Well, and so just a little, you know, back on that, I agree. Men have been raped. We have gone through that early on, but not at the tune of 400,000 rape kits. The 400,000 rape kits.
But isn't that rape kit a one-sided thing?
It's male. It's male and female.
It's male, female, and children. 86% of them are black women.
And that's not to say that there weren't other incidents. It just says that ones that were reported and went through this process.
And that's the whole thing.
It's a very invasive process.
But that's what I'm saying. But that whole thing, how many men are going to step up to the plate and say, let's go rape it?
It's tough because in the process, how many men will step up and say it?
Men don't even go to counseling. So, you know, that percentage is low. So I don't want to go back and forth with it. I'm just saying we often, again, I know this is going to cross the line, we often defend the genders, but we don't recognize that it's not even the gender in the sense of specific. That is across the board, that is a human behavior that wasn't not modified, adjusted, or changed, that we see these outcomes.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to acknowledge some of our listeners today. Rich is out there and Terrence is out there. Thanks for listening. Terrence asked the question, what's the definition of dating in today's society, though?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And so beyond that, setting the trend for trauma, right? Then you have to take in consideration all of those things when pursuing someone. Someone said to me on the phone that every woman I dated, and he said not one. He said, Doc, I didn't dated a lot of women, and I got into these conversations, and not one of them said they weren't raped. They all said it, right? I said, well, again, that's just part of it. The dating process requires us to get to know each other. And like Dave said, I think we move kind of fast and we want it easy. And sometimes we get there in a hurry because of sex. And sometimes what we fail to realize is we start putting prices on dating. We even had the episode where they were talking about if you didn't take me to a certain restaurant, right? I remember that topic a couple of years ago. Like, you taking me to, what's the spot out in where they eat Voila and in Dearborn?
Voila. Like Mongolian barbecue, you know what that kind of...
No, but it's a Japanese restaurant. The Japanese restaurant where
they prepare the food in front of you, like the hibachi.
Bahamas or something like that. Bahamas.
Benihana's.
Yeah, Benihana. Yeah.
Right. You got to take me to Benihana's or something. No, I want to get into some of the solutions to some of this dating, because getting to know the person is what dating is about. Dating shouldn't have these things, and that's why I said dating in 2026, good or bad. It's bad because it's got all of these things. We have all these individual mindsets and expectations that we gonna put on you. Well, if you don't take me here, that's all coming from an individual perspective, as the same thing in the conversation that Heather was sharing about the single homes. To me, that is one of the major issues why dating is so bad, is because of what we've trained society, culture into individuals. So we have a high level of me, I,
That's
me,
right.
me.
That's right.
Right? We have a high level of that, and it's hard for you to get to us and we.
People don't even go in a relationship. The whole process of dating was meant to move into marriage.
Right.
I mean, technically. And so that means you take time to get to know the person, experience the person, and walk through the process. But usually what happens is that once people get that then they move right into the physical aspect of it, with expectations that's not even communicated, just thought in one's head. And then when it don't play out well, we got issues.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Dave, I reached out to you on that interparental conflict. That was such a powerful thing. I've just been going at it, right? In between the things that, I do, right? But I just know I've helped, and you helped, and Heather helped. We all have helped people move their relationships to another level. And then one thing that I stress to when I'm approached, the one thing that I do stress to someone when they ask about dating is I'm curious as to what they are looking for, and are they willing to pull themselves out of all the little trap doors that they have themselves in. And for me, that's how you line up your blessing. When you the tiptoe burglar, what I mean? Like, yeah, I really want to get with this woman, but I'm over here, and I'm over here, and I'm over here. So, and then you still asking, I really should marry this woman, but you still practicing that whole process. You got to give all that up in order to line yourself up.
You, as you say, having them boots under all these
and them doors, yeah, because it's hard to, a relationship to move from one level to the next, from dating into relationship. It takes building trust. It takes listening. It takes responding in the way that they like for you to respond. It takes understanding, right? What the process of demands in a relationship, in my opinion, it doesn't work. That's just in my opinion, because when I'm explaining on that level, and either one of you can chime in, but if you have a demand, right, maybe it shouldn't be a demand. Maybe this should be a boundary, right? Maybe this should be a requirement for your sanity, right? This is how I move. This is a requirement. I don't date women that that's a requirement. So let's just stay friends, right? I don't date women that, right? Those are your requirements. I don't date men that, and stick to your requirements and your boundaries. So when you do meet someone that kind of lines up in this dating game, you then can move to the next level. It's like, what's that? It's like a game. It's like Jenga. You put the pieces together in order for you to solve all the pieces, and all of a sudden it go down, and now you're starting again. That relationship is what takes you putting the pieces to the puzzle in order for you to move the relationship. And the one thing that, and this last piece that's very, very important, when I say getting to know someone, that means just like you pulled your feet out of all them doors, don't come to the table with lies. That's the worst thing you can do in a relationship, is come to the table with lies. Because when you come to that table and you know that this person is saying, you know, I'd like to go here, this is what I'm looking for, and you done painted yourself, you know, and you done put these lies, you're automatically sabotaging the relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so Terrence said he's been divorced for a few years. He said many women do it backward. He said we sex, then we date, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and then we have Jay Charisse, who joined us and said share. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that in my coaching and the women and the men that I help to coach, one of the opportunities that they have is to really define the attributes of the person that they would like to spend their lives with. What I found is that a lot of people have a few things here, and they're dating because there's some type of draw, but it's random. It might be one thing that they have on their ideal list, or two things, and mostly it's the things that you can see. You know, they may have the body type or the car or the apparent income versus, I call it the job description, versus the job description. If you are really looking for somebody to share the job of eternity or relationship, if you don't really have the things that qualify them for you, and then look at you to see if I qualify to be a part of this person's job description. Like, you know, and I hesitate to use supervisor, but the one that is saying that this is what I want, you also have to be able to supervise, manage, and navigate that person with those attributes. And what I found in those circumstances is that most people do not have that, what I'm calling a job description. So enough of a description and attributes of a person that shapes a well-rounded person. And then in the process of dating, instead of just, you know, and I say this loosely, but instead of just receiving any advance, really, does it line up with your beliefs? What are your priorities? If it doesn't line up with your beliefs, you dating somebody whose belief system is totally different from you. They may be nice and they may be kind, but if they don't have a sense of grounding or a source that they answer to, or a set of standards and values that they answer to, that help them stay in alignment, so it helps you from going too far, right? That if you don't have those attributes, you don't have those boundaries, as you mentioned, Kelvin, if you don't have those set of standards, that it's really easy to be pulled in. And then what we say is that they deceived me. But did they really deceive you when you didn't know what you wanted at that time? Or at the time that you're dating, or you knew what you wanted and you knew that wasn't what you wanted, but you did it for the attention or for the companionship or for the temporary. Are you being honest and authentic? And this is for both men and women, because I see it with both.
Mm-hmm. Interesting you say that. I had a case, and the young man of 20 years old dating the young lady who was 20 years old, and she told him he wasn't man enough for her. So he went on a pursuit to try to become man enough, meaning that he went to get the job. He was going into engineering. Now she said, you need to do something with your hands. So he went to go get a job doing something with his hands. And then he tried to do that. Then she said, you wasn't taking me out enough. So he went to get a job so he could take her out enough. And he been going back and forth and back and forth. So now they break up, they get back together. And again, she's still running this. You're not man enough. You're not a protector. You're not this. And yet the men, that they stay close enough that he could see the men she was dating who were not accountable and responsible. So I with him through a checklist. And I say, everything that she brings to you, let's check and see if it's reasonable. And as he present what she was saying, none of it was reasonable. I say, so now you have to go back and reason with yourself. And I gave him the example that this is the first criteria of emotional intelligence. You have to know yourself. And I used Adam and Eve. Now, they had the same thing. They had the same information shared with them. Do not do this. But someone could come along and present to, and this is not a dig on woman or man, but present to Eve what God told her not to do, told Adam as well, that she turns around and listens to someone else who has it not together, who is on the bad side of the deal. She went with that. Then not only did she go with it, she trying to hand it to her husband, whatever that was, you want to call it fruit, apple, whatever, and then he turns around and violates. Now, at the same time, they knew the rules. So when you talk about, do you know what you want? They knew what was right, yet they fell into the emotional trap that says, I will give her my emotions. Emotions have its place, but they not should be your decision maker. They are the things that let you feel, but at the same time, you need to be accountable, responsible. And usually when people get in this dating situation, they know what they want. But they all of a sudden get caught up in the feeling of love or the idealism of love. And next thing you know, they're caught up. Now it's a whole tumbling down the hill because they're frustrated because they gave up their own standard beliefs. And if you don't know that going into the relationship, which most of us didn't when we were kids, but you see this now, people are 40, 50, 60, still getting caught up in the game and people playing their own rules. You gotta know who you are. To thyself be true, examine yourself. And most people are afraid to face that because there's the other part. People don't want to be alone, and there's a difference between loneliness and solitude.
So, yeah, it's pretty profound to understand that, and this is for any young man out there that might be listening. You cannot save your mother through a woman. A lot of you will try to save your mother through a woman.
What does that mean? Can you share what that means? That
means that I'm dating this woman, right? And for what I never saw my mother have, I will over appease this woman so she could talk to me that way. But when you raised by wolves, you will never let a woman talk to you or demand that thing, right? Because that young man is trying to appease, right?
But he thought his mother should have.
Yeah, yeah. And that's and we see it often. You see what I'm saying? I see that so often, right? And I really want to do the study. Another reason why I really want to do the study that, as I shared with you before, Heather, that I think a lot of men get stuck in Oedipus. They get stuck in Oedipus complex.
Absolutely.
And when they get stuck, right, it's just this infatuation, and you will hear it in their words. And I always, and this is one of the things that I tried to express to a recent sister, like, be careful when you hear a man say, you remind me of my mother. Because he never knew his mother. He knew of what he saw from his mother. And just like dating, it's all surface. He never truly knew his mother. And you have to be careful with girls that say, you remind me of my dad, because the bar, sometimes fathers set an unrealistic bar for their daughters, right? And therefore, they can never reach that in a man.
And you should be. Let's go with that, though. That's a good point. You should be able to identify. For the classic line, he's a mama's boy. I'll tell anybody on this planet, I don't care you male or female, yeah, I'm a mama's boy, but I'm a man.
Right.
And so, therefore, I love my mother. I value my mother. So you're not going to compromise my love for my mother.
Right.
But my mother didn't raise me to be a boy either. She knew that I would go through the developmental process. So if I have to be ashamed that I'm a child of my mother, then that's a person I don't want to interact with, and vice versa in my eyesight, because you look at the attributes of your parents, but they're just like you. They're human beings first with a title. So they have their good, bad, or indifference. And you try to, if you're becoming mature in your walk, you try to extract those positive attributes and utilize them to move you forward. But again, we're talking about deep thinking.
Yeah.
When everybody thinks, but how deep you want to go? Are you going to be a surfer that uses the waves to knock you off, or are you going to be a diver so you can get to the pearls? Which one are you trying to do?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the see, that's that man. And so that's what is missing. Right. And that's what's happening to men and women, you know, and I said this on Let's Talk Legal, right? The division for which the system placed, right? Trauma, and those are the results of you. And sometimes it's hard to get off that lily pad. You don't want to leap, right? And you don't want to leap and take a chance. It's such a profound thing to have someone to love you.
Man, what you talking about?
Man, it's such a profound thing, and it's a profound thing for you to be able to love someone. Meaning you listen, you hear, you touch. There was the research, and Dave, I think you know you know this, right? There's a research about touch and why touch is so important to men and women. But they found out that touch is just as important to men and how their body functions. And I'm constantly sharing quality information about the brain, you know, about the lungs, about the heart, where we're constantly sharing this. But in dating, when you actually don't come to the table with all the stuff, and you actually just come as a person, right? I'm here as a person. I'm talking to you. I'm not falling for your slick talk. We have been so, how do I put it? And I shared this again with Heather about manipulation, right? We have been so trained in manipulation, we don't know ourselves. How can I be in a relationship with somebody that's not even in a relationship with themselves?
That's why I said you have to build a relationship with yourself, build it with God before you can interact with other people. Now, that's just my perspective about God. I know people got their own ways of thinking about it, but something bigger than you is definitely bigger than you, whether you want to accept that or not. So those principles, and I was telling somebody this other day, you don't have to even believe in the Bible, but the principles work because it's the longest lasting book in history. And if you do all the research, sociology, religion, philosophy, everything is extracted from that concept. But again, this comes down to knowing yourself. And most people are not taught coming out the gate how to thyself be true. Not in a selfish way, but a self-preserving way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, I hear, you know, and Heather is dealing with it. There are a lot of women, I didn't listen to them women. Calvin, do you got a friend? I'm looking for a man. I didn't heard it. Yeah, but can you handle, right? The type of men that because you might be looking at me a certain way, but these men aren't me. They have their own rules and ways. And so by you looking in and examining it from my perspective, I just need you to know, as a woman and a man that's entering a relationship, and Heather, you can chime in. As a woman and a man that's entering a relationship, right, you got to understand that you're coming into that relationship maybe 50% of a person, maybe 60%. That, some people say, well, if they got 70% of a person. No, there's a certain skill set that a man has, and there's a certain skill set that a woman has. When I come to the table, Heather was just bragging this weekend, talking about it was stuffed chicken thighs and spinach that sealed the deal.
Man, I can see that glow on Helva's face right now.
Right.
She had to fight to stop smiling.
Right. Right.
That is correct.
Right. So she was like, it's stuffed chicken thighs and spinach, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. It was the skill of which it was applied and the taste, right? And everything where it let her know that you care. It wasn't.
And the presentation.
And the presentation was out cold. I'm kind of cold with it. Right. And the presentation is out cold.
How could you present stuffed chicken?
That was before I got allergic to it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's, presentation was the extra. How you presented on the plate. It wasn't just thrown on the plate.
Count.
That's right.
And that book is selling today.
And that was on my list. It was in my job description.
Yeah. And that's part of it. But just to get into what I'm saying is, I'm not claiming to say. I'm saying that when we were separated, we have to look at the things that made us this way. And then move ourselves away from those things so we can see a person. Seeing a whole person for everything that they are, it has to be a requirement. Earlier, right? If I Numbers 30 verse 2, whatever I say, everything that comes out of my mouth, this is for men, right? Everything that proceedeth out of my mouth, I must do. That's a covenant. A covenant in a relationship, when you move from dating and you move into, now we're planning. See, now we went out of dating, we was having fun. Oh, yeah, I could see myself really with this person. Okay, now let's move this. How many women require, or how many men still use, will you be my woman? Because I did it, but will you be my woman? Right? Because some people don't even go there. So it's a half-ass commitment. But if I'm coming to be with you, I'm consistently being with you, will you be I'm asking you for permission to be my woman. From there, we can move it into the next level. But at the prime point where I realize, I really like to and want to spend some time with you, will you be my girl? Now, that means at that point we're exclusive, and now we're merging. See, it's a merger. And I tell women and I tell men this, Dave, all the time, and because you do this and Heather do this, never put a woman or a person in front of you. Ladies, never put the man in front of you. Never put the man behind you. Put the man on the side of you. Same thing for a woman. Because if we are side by side, that is the beginning of one. It's not a beginning thing. If you just like you was talking about the young lady talking to the young man at 20 and telling him that's all single perspective. She was trained in that. And so she found this guy, we would call him a sucker. But the truth of the matter is, he's just trying to appease because everything around him told him this is it. They didn't show him Cal and Dave, right? Everything around him told him this is how you're supposed to. And then his feelings are hurt. And this is how we create guys that turn into murderers, where they've been abused in relationships. So we got to understand that it's side by side. Heather and I are side by side. It's no, she's in front of me, I'm behind her. It's none of that. We're side by side. So when she looks to her left, I'm right there. She don't have to look forward. She don't have to look back. I'm right there. And when I look to my right, she's right there. That's how you make yourself, move yourself into one, where then the conversation, we remove the lies, we remove the issues, we remove the former relationships, we remove all those things. And now the merger continues to happen. And I just think that we are making a mistake, a huge mistake to our children. This is a huge mistake to the children because this stuff is in the data. You don't need us to tell you. All you got to do is ask Google. The stuff is in the data. It's telling you how bad is dating, how they're dating, what they're seeing, what kind of dating, what they're going for. It's in the data. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to lay that out, and make it clear. Dating has to be the beginning. Friendship has to be a part of that. And then when you move it to the next level, move it side by side. Never put someone in front of you, over you, or behind you. Mm-hmm. It is side by side.
We had another comment from Terrence. He says, the world is mad at black men for dating white women, but many will nurture the black man to achieve his greatness. It says, most black women have many rules for you, but will mess with a buster.
That's my line. But
and then he also said before that, he said it's like the message in hip hop music and the lyrics he was focusing on. Beyonce that said, "Put a ring on it."
Yeah.
And then she said to the left, he said,
and then the gangster rap tell you to call her all kind of names and all of that.
So I just want to just make sure that we're kind of lining up. We know that this is a process. Mm-hmm. It is not something that happens overnight, or at least the process of growth and development. Dave talked about too being an inner journey. Calvin talks about it being an inner journey. So deciding on who you want to be, what kind of life do you want to have, and as I'm sharing with you, start to craft what that looks like. Otherwise, you're playing a hit or miss game. They have this, but they don't have that. I mean, there's some things that you can vet ahead of time. If you know that you don't like smokers, and you know that this person smokes, that might be a sign for you. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want or like to have smoke around you. That's one of the things that you need to think about. Mm-hmm. And without thinking, I'm going to change them. Mm-hmm. If you go into a relationship thinking that you're going to change somebody or make them into something that they are not at that time, that's another way where we kind of we put our perceptions and our expectations ahead of that. Mm-hmm. We put our expectations ahead of that. And then you expect later on in a relationship, well, I don't like cigarette smoke. Mm-hmm. Well, when you met me, I was smoking. Mm-hmm. Cigarettes or otherwise.
The expectation.
Yes.
And that's where I was explaining to the young man, you have to look at what is reasonable. Is it reasonable you meet a person that smoked, and they haven't even smoked? I've been smoking 15 years. Now you expect them to change in 15 minutes. That's unreasonable. So why even bother if that's a criteria you don't want? But again, you're strong to your own conviction. There's some people who say, well, that's petty, or you're being picky. No, you're being selective. Mm. As I told my son, it's not rejection, it's selection. So if somebody says, I don't date you, he don't smoke, but I don't date because you smoke. Well, then she's not being petty. She's not being unreasonable. She's letting you know she's selecting what she wants and is reasonable to her. And then vice versa with anyone else and anything that you decide you want to be in.
And at that point, I'll holler. That's where it ends.
But not necessarily. That's the issue. But I'm saying because they may have the physical features that draw you in, and you're drawn in by that. But you're drawn in by that, and so you're willing for the physical feature. You're willing to overlook the more substantial things that are long term.
Yeah. I get that.
Well, God would tell you when Samuel was speaking to King, he said, man looks at the outside, God looks at the heart. So if you're looking from a person from the inside out, and they will present those criteria as you spend time, because people are creatures of habit and pattern. If you pay attention, you'll know what a person is willing to do and not do. And I was thinking about number one, when a person says, I want this low-key love, right? They want someone calm. Are you calm? I want somebody consistent. Are you consistent? See, when you start looking at these two particular qualities, now you look, every time you look around, you say, well, I want somebody on time. But every time I look around, well, I'm fashionably late. What is that if you want someone else on time? Mm-hmm. You see, so these things, what's in a man, and I say man universally speaking, comes out. And this is the problem where people don't start paying attention to the patterns of the people they're with. Because I used to say this when I was a young man. I said, my looks will draw you in. It's going to be my mind and my character that keeps you.
Every time. Every time. If I want to keep you.
And I'm not saying because I'm that great looking, I ain't bad. But I ain't, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you were drawn to me because that's all you knew was my external.
Yeah.
Right.
You see.
Yeah, and that's how it goes. You
But
saw
for a lot of
something you
people, they equate the look. I was sharing, I was sharing this comment that there was a young woman who had some alterations, had some physical alterations to enhance her attraction, and while she did all this work and met this guy, he couldn't stand to hear her talk because he didn't think she was intelligent, and so asked her to not talk. Like your conversation is less than desirable, but you look good. So, I wanted to make this work. I just don't need for you to talk.
That's where the investment was, and so she got from the investment of getting that, she got exactly what she wanted, and he got what he wanted. He doesn't want her to talk, and she got him talking about her body. So that's where her confidence is, and that's where his control is. Those are the two things that's going to clash, because it's only so long before she starts realizing that I am a little more than just my body, and eventually. Hopefully, right? Eventually, it's an amicable split.
But that's what I'm saying. That sometimes media has an influence on those types of decisions. It gives the impression that if I look this way, then I bring value, and so there are, and that's male or female, because I'm attractive, and I look this way, that the rest of it can be worked out.
But that was the problem. That's what we talk about all the time.
But media often pushes that.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you have money,
change your media.
If you have money, or if you appear to have wealth, or you have wealth, then I can work with anything else, because you don't want to be poor, but you don't think about your spirit long term. You can have a impoverished spirit when you're not in a healthy space.
Yeah, you everything you just said goes right back to you did not value the person that's on the inside, so the outside is all you offer. Dave, where can they reach you at?
You can reach me at F Man for Man About Man on Facebook, and you'll reach me at dron7@yahoo.com.
Dr. Heather?
You can reach me at yourinspiredjourney.com, or you reach me by phone at 313-759-7855.
You can reach me at 1 Million Reasons Boys Matter at emmyworld.com. Go there and donate. We're raising $1 million to expand. I will say this and make it quick. Okay. I will say this, and I'll make it quick. Dave wants to repeat this next week, so we'll do that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'll say this, and I'll make it quick. I said that 3 times. In the miles you count, I know you count on 3, right? So I'm saying again, the lesson that you take from here today, this is one. One, Heather is doing her navigating men class. You need to sign up. I'm challenging her to keep putting it out there so more people can join and get involved, right? And it's for women to learn to navigate men, right, in a different way. But I'll say this for the 4th time, that a partnership, meaning the person is next to me, and everything we do has more value than the patriarchy and the matriarchy. I'll let you figure which one out is better. But I'm telling you, the partnership side by side, self-love, friendship, God, those things in your partnership will yield you the type of results in relationship as long as you're willing to give up the things that's superficial. My name is Dr. Calvin T. Mann. God bless you and encourage me. I'm young. Peace.